I am super stoked to do this interview with Kelli Calabrese right now. See if I can find her. Invite her to my group. Invite her in. Boom. Can you see me? Take me to your leader. Billy Cowell here, doing an interview with Kelli Calabrese. Just waiting for her to jump on our live video. She should be on any second. Hey Kelli, what's going on? I am stoked to have you on here. And boom.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, there is
I'm
nothing.
just getting set up. What's that?
There's just nothing that Facebook doesn't do. I'm sorry that you had.
I know. That's okay. I'm just getting set up here. Just covered my camera. Hang on.
You don't know how many hours of hassle it's taking me to figure out that you can't use the desktop.
I know. No, I knew that. I just was just double checking with you. I didn't know what format we were using, but this is cool. Just trying to get set up so I got some light. Okay. Well, it's kind of dark. Let me see. I will go. How about
We
better?
got a viewer and she's in Connecticut.
Awesome. There's Miss Kyla. Hey, Mama. How's it going?
This group is very new. I started it like about a month ago. I've got maybe 40 or 50 people in here. So who knows who could jump on. Usually it's been the people I've interviewed in the last couple of days.
Okay.
Do you know Greg Cook? I interviewed him yesterday.
I don't think so.
He's a Schwinn master instructor. He's been floating around. You guys may have crossed paths in the, international superstar presenter world.
Possibly.
So I'm excited to get you on. I'm really excited. Your mission, your journey, what you've done with your life is so parallel to what I'm doing with this group that it's an honor to have you on here and share with all the thousands of things you did. I was joking. I was only partially joking when I was looking at your LinkedIn and asking if you cloned yourself to get all that stuff in there. I could not believe how much stuff I was sorting through. So I have Kelli Calabrese, which has been certified for 31 years with ACE. The reason I start with that is because usually most fitness professionals start by getting certified. And another thing that I have to point out is usually I connect with a fitness pro who's certified 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. And most of the great stuff they have done was 20 or 30 years ago. And I have to say, besides your LinkedIn page, it's impossible to find any of the stuff you did back then because you've done so much in the last year, 2, 3, 4 years. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to take a deep breath because I have like a list of pages of things here that I'm going to read through. But anyhow, Kelli is a clinical exercise physiologist, fitness center owner, international presenter, which is how I met her, best-selling author on Amazon as of the last year, right? Was that in the last year or was it a little bit beyond that?
I've written 4 books and co-authored several, but I had 2 go bestseller last year. Actually, I've
Nah,
done more than 4. I've contributed to a lot.
I'm talking about the mamapreneur one.
That was last May, yes.
All right. She's a major contributor and master trainer at Adventure Boot Camp, which is huge in the United States. Master trainer of the Impact Program. She's done online training. She's done iPod training. She's done grocery shopping tours. This is something I didn't know until today, of that being the founder and mission marketer of Beyond Organic just in the last year. That looked really cool. Speaker for Perform Better. Everyone knows Perform Better. Nesta Board of Advisors at one point. Exercise, which I imagine is what your gym was called.
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's cool. So that was the gym that, or how many was there? 4, 5?
Had 4 gyms, and then we had 9 corporate fitness centers and a school. Yes.
So that was before you moved to Texas in New Jersey. Recently becoming a board of the advisors of Long Song Ministries, which is for special needs for children and adults. I thought that was really cool too. And I have to definitely note that I forgot about this, even though I've known you now for 3 years or more, that you went to school in my backyard. I mean, my dad lived on ESU's campus.
Wow.
I mean, he
Very
lived
cool.
on Brown Street, which was ESU. So I didn't forgot about that. And so I was looking on your LinkedIn page and I was like, she went to ESU. Oh my goodness. Most people know of Stroudsburg. They don't know of East Stroudsburg. Kelly and I met, which I wish I had taken her advice when it was, but I think it was about 12 or 13 years ago at a conference where she was presenting about residual income for fitness professionals, which is essentially the theme of the community that I'm building now, 12 years later, and she's way ahead of that game. But literally, I remember, I can't remember the topic of the workshop, but I do remember her asking one question, and it's set in my head. She asked, who is making money right now in this room while you're sitting here learning? I remember her asking that question. And I remember it was less than 3 or 4 people that raised their hand who at the time, maybe they were doing online training. I don't necessarily remember what it was, but they raised their hand because they were, whether, through investments or online training or some kind of residual income, were creating income. And I remember saying, wow, so profound. These people are doing this. And it never even crossed my mind before she asked that question. So that was how we met. It was that question that you asked during that workshop. And I wish I had those notes, like they were paper notes. We didn't do that on. You may have them, but I don't have them. So is there anything I missed? Is there anything I want to add?
There's so many new cool things going on, but all surrounded around the same mission that I wrote when I was 17 years old, which was to provide individuals with the tools to make health, fitness, and wellness a permanent and enjoyable part of their lives. And that's evolved some. It's definitely grown from there, but that's been the mission, for people to walk in divine health, and for those serving those people to be revered as experts, to earn executive pay, and to have a lifestyle of freedom is what it's been about the last 32 plus years.
32 now. You gotta update that. It said 31, I think, somewhere I read it.
Be
So let me
33 this
ask you this.
year in
Let me
November.
ask you this question. What fitness accomplishments have, not over your whole life, but what fitness accomplishments that you've done over the last 31 years have the most impact on your outreach today?
I would say owning the health clubs, because that really is the in the trenches, grassroots, where you learn to network. That's where you learn to care about people. That's where you learn to serve. That's where you learn to sell. That's where you learn to build long-term relationships. So, those original 14 years of health club, working my way up from the front desk to group fitness trainer to personal trainer to group fitness director to club manager and then corporate fitness manager, all those years just working the way up to ownership and opening up locations, and all that it takes to learn the skills that you need to be a good networker, to ask for the sale and care about people. That's really where it happened.
So wait, you mentioned front desk. Where did this all start?
Well, when I was 17, I got my license on December 11th, 1986, and I drove to what was called Excellence in Exercise, which was the health club in town. And I got a job at the front desk because I got my license and I know I needed to pay for gas, and I had always been into fitness. And I wrote in my journal when I was 13, I will be an exercise therapist. So I thought, well, if I'm going to work, let me work in a health club. So that was December, and by April, I was certified. So I was out on the floor doing classes by April of 87.
Wow. Now I'm just going to take a broad stroke here. You have more than one stream of income in your life now, probably more than five, right? And you started
Yes,
as a front desk at a gym. That's
yes.
just a broad stroke, all right? Which is tremendous. So many people just they can't see themselves through that dream. And what was really important to mention is that you wrote down you wanted to be an exercise physiologist. And
Wrote down a lot of things.
right, and you may or may not have known how to get there at the time, but you just wrote it down and said, this is where the goal is. This is where I'm going. Powerful.
That's
So let me ask you, what advice would you give somebody who admires you, who looks at you as a mentor, and that wants to follow in your footsteps?
The interesting thing about this industry for fitness pros is there is no one career path. There is no one way to do this. It's not like you get a 4-year degree in accounting or nursing or as a teacher where you kind of have an idea how it's going to go. In the fitness industry, anything is possible. You can make it anything that you want it to be. It's just unfortunate that a lot of fitness professionals, even with 4-year degrees, are not very entrepreneurial. And I just believe in my heart that you need to be if you're going to stay in this industry. I mean, just this week, I talked to 3 fitness pros who have been in it for decades, who in their prime earning years, one with a master's degree, is doing in-home training, and he literally did not have $300 in his checking account. That hurts my heart. I mean, I am not kidding you when I say I hate that. I with a passion, a holy violent passion, I hate that someone is still trading time for money. It is their only stream of income. Do it because you love it. Do it because you care, but not because you have to. So I would say, you always need to be evaluating, what am I doing that's working? What am I doing that's not working? What can I do more of, less of, stop, or start? And if your only stream of income is trading time for money, you need to find something else. Honestly, I'm telling you straight up, because 5 years from now, where are you going to find yourself? And you may or may not have health insurance. And even if, I know some of the top trainers in the country, they charge $200 a session, there's still only so much time to go around. And there's so much burnout that happens, even if you love it, even if you're great. The rate of inflation of your health insurance, your car insurance. I mean, Billy, you have 3 kids now. In fact, I was just writing a check for my daughter for her horse right before this call. You want your kids to have a good life. You want to have a great life. You can't trade time for money as a fitness pro, a hairstylist, unless you want to have a very simple life and you don't want to play big. And you're just happy with that. But I just believe so much more for people, and I know you do, Billy, too, that there's a really good plan on your life. You are not designed to play small. And if you're going to do something big, then you need to be bold. Figure out what that is that you love. A lot of trainers go from one-on-one to groups. Well, that's a good start. A lot of trainers will then maybe hire a trainer to work for them. That's another good opportunity. There are some trainers who find their top client who's willing to invest in them to start a studio. These are all steps and good things that get you a little bit ahead of training one-on-one. And some people work for big companies where they can work their way up into management of a franchise and so on, if that's what you love. But honestly, if you want to be in the top, if you want to have the most influence, the most impact, you need to have something else. And it could be complementary to what you do in fitness and wellness and nutrition, or it may be something else that aligns with you that you feel good about standing behind. I actually just had a friend the other day that asked me if I would help him launch his app. I happen to love the idea of his app. It has to do with increasing security in schools in America. If you had told me 32 years ago that I'd be helping him launch this app, I would have said, no way, no interest. But the fact that my kids who are teenagers in high school have to do live active shooter drills, I hate that. And if I can help to increase the security in schools around the country and parents can drop their kids off at school and everyone can feel safer, then yes, that's worth some of my attention. And the income potential is amazing, and the people connected to it are amazing. So I would say keep your options open. It amazes me, Billy, sometimes we'll talk to someone about something and they'll instantly say no. And they don't even know what it is yet. Like, they just have an impression. They're saying no to something they don't even know. So, use some discernment, of course, and, consider things and pray about things before you make a quick decision. But before you shut something down, find out more about it. I mean, talk to the people who are doing it. Talk to the top achievers. Talk to the ones who are ahead of where you are. Find out what they're doing. Get the details before you completely shut something down that you might later regret, that you could totally be missing it, that nothing will make you madder than if you say no and 5 years from now, the guy who asked you or someone who said yes after you is, making 6 figures a year and, getting paid on a Monday or Friday or whenever when they're hanging out with their kids or on the beach, and you're still trying to, train clients for 40, 50, 60 bucks an hour. And I'm not dishonoring that. I still train clients. I have a studio. but I do it no more than 2 hours a day. I charge top dollar. I do 30-minute sessions. I do small groups, and I do it because I love it, not because I have to. And if it's spring break and all my clients are away, that's awesome for me because I can go away too. And I'm not relying on that to pay my mortgage.
Wow, I mean, I might ask you to just come on here every day. The purpose of this group is just to really show people that, I mean, anyone can do this. I want to encourage people to reach out to you and say, how did you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, after just taking steps from one day in your past being a personal trainer, one day in your past being a front desk person, and now, I mean, you're helping people build apps. Like you have so many parallel impacting events in your life, and it's very inspiring. Um,
Thank you.
so, oh man, do you have a mentor?
I have many. Yes.
Name a few.
Well, one of my many favorites, Kyle Wilson. Kyle was Jim Rohn's business partner. He is a dear friend. Connecting with him, which I call a godsidence. It happened on social media, but we had so many mutual friends, has just brought me levels and levels up because he is a man who loves people first. He has a servant heart. He is filled with wisdom. He knows everyone from entertainment to the sporting world to realtors, investors. Personal development. These guys are his personal friends. And when you're in Kyle's inner circle, all those people become your friends. I have never left a conversation with Kyle Wilson where it was not a win-win. And I'll do a little plug for him. He has a free giveaway. It's called 52 Lessons. If you search Kyle Wilson 52 Lessons, you can get every week he sends you a lesson. And it's profound. It's free. But if you want to check that out and get into Kyle's world a little bit, Kyle is one of my many mentors.
I'll add that to the description. So
Awesome.
now the purpose of my group is really to show trainers parallel or symbiotic forms of income, ways to boost their impact. I've had some trainers come in where they're just showing other trainers how to improve their independent personal training. And then I met with this guy, Greg, yesterday, who has 3 or 4 different streams of flow into his life. You have many flows of income. Can you just name a couple of them, or what some of the industries are that you're working in that you would encourage other trainers to check out?
Absolutely. So I do have a book, which that's not easy to do. If you writing a book sounds easy, walk to the bookstore, there's millions of books. But your book, it could be a small book, a book of your, famous things you say. It doesn't have to be a giant book, but your book becomes your business card. Your book becomes your brand. Your book becomes your ticket to speaking. It gets you invited to events. It gets you at the back of the room with a table where you have the opportunity to meet people. So if there's something you want to create, years and years and years ago, I did a boot camp drill book, and it had, like 52 different boot camp workouts in there. And people still today call me and go, I love that boot camp drill book. And so if that's your thing, if you want to take workouts and put them in an ebook, put them online, whatever, having a product obviously is a residual stream of income. It doesn't happen magically, and I am not the world's foremost expert on this. There are people way more expert than me on how to sell your things, online or in person. But a book, products, obviously, are ways that you can generate. If you love to cook and you cook gluten-free, do a little gluten-free cookbook. It doesn't have to be something that's profound. It could even be something that you give away. So normally you have something that would be free, something that would be a lower price, and then you have a higher ticket price item that might include your online coaching. I actually just hired a LinkedIn coach, and I did 3 sessions with him. They were 30-minute sessions that we booked for the last 3 Mondays, and I got my money's worth the very first day. I've increased my LinkedIn capacity, incredible. So maybe you can do 3 lessons with someone, 3 30-minute one-on-one lessons about training or nutrition or wellness or martial arts or yoga, whatever your thing is. Charge $600 for 30-minute sessions. So, think about what you love first. Otherwise, it will really feel hard and like it's a labor. It's got to be something that just flows through you, something that's really passionate, something that excites you. yes, it's going to take some work, but it shouldn't feel, so hard. If it should give you energy. If it's not giving you energy, it is not the right thing. So any books, any products would be great. Um, I do network marketing. I've been doing that for 7 years. I was introduced to it by a personal trainer, and she is an elite world-class athlete. She travels the world, and she said to me, Kelly, you're crazy if you don't do this. And I had never done network marketing. I didn't know anything about it. I had never bought or sold anything, but I got into it for the products. And just in sharing the products with clients, I earned more the first year than the average personal trainer earns in a year. And the second year, did the same thing, but more. And then the third year really got a little more serious about it, hit six figures really easily, and it's grown every year since. It's a beautiful thing. I highly recommend, if you are not connected to some type of network marketing, it is a personal development company with a comp plan. Get behind a company that you can stand behind, that you're confident in the leadership, the comp plan, the products, the culture, everything about it. So choosing the right company is huge. Choosing the right sponsor is huge, but it's the best form of democracy there is. I can't talk highly enough about network marketing. It's been 7.5 years, and I'm more convinced every day that it's one of the best forms of income.
Wow.
So that is another one. Yeah.
You did four major ones, but one thing I have to point out is that you still train 2 hours a day.
I do, between 8 and 10 a.m. That's it.
So trainer's going to say, someone's going to say, well, I don't have time to do this. I have to train my clients. But here you are training two clients. I mean, only two a day because that's just how it fits in your life. But you only are working those couple hours in the morning at top dollar. So, and yet you have time to do network marketing. You have time to do, selling individual sessions, or in your case, you were the consumer on that end, but it was just an idea. You, have time to write a book somewhere. I mean, I can imagine that was so many hours, but so good. So you mentioned Kyle Wilson as a mentor. Is anyone else that I could pull out of you as someone I could follow that has
Yes,
inspired you?
Kevin Weaver. Kevin Weaver is amazing. His book is called Reorient by Kevin Weaver. His website is I am Kevin Weaver, or reorientbook.com. Kevin has been a spiritual mentor for a long time, probably 12 years. Um, he's just an amazing, amazing man, dad, leader. He was just at the White House doing the prayer breakfast there, but incredible, cool guy, musician. I mean, just amazing. I've learned so, so much from him about just the supernatural power of life. So that's Kevin Weaver. He's great.
Wow, so good.
Network marketing mentor has been Sean Murphy. Sean has been a great mentor and friend. He is the trainer to network marketing trainers, network marketers, and he's, a phone call away. I've never one time called him where he hasn't picked up or called right back, and always wisdom filled, great information from Sean Murphy.
I agree with you there. He's a mentor of mine as well. Wow. I mean, I have questions here, but that you've just flooded them. Like to ask you that. Here's a good one. What would you say to someone who's struggling or questioning whether or not to keep going forward with whatever their side business is or their entrepreneurial pursuit, if it's not exploding?
Well, then you need to find someone who is exploding and follow what they do, because it truly is about duplication. One of the mistakes I made early on was trying to reinvent the wheel. Having been an owner of a health club, we were required to be creative. I mean, 32 years ago, no one was personal training. I mean, we were #1 in New Jersey, and we kind of had to pave the way. So I was used to just being creative, coming up with contests and promotions and marketing and calendars and all these things. And with network marketing, or even, whether you're doing a boot camp or whatever training program, or it's all duplicatable. Find someone who's done it ahead of you. Put your, personal creativity on it, but duplicate what they've done. Don't copy it exactly, but the systems are the same. They're duplicatable. With technology, it makes it so much easier. So if what you're doing isn't working, stop. You need to find a system. You need to find a better way and make it work.
That's good. That's very good. Do you feel that your fitness journey, or even all of the journeys that you've done, have been chosen by you or guided by fate? Meaning, have you picked what you wanted to do and went for it, or was it a lot of these things came at you because of who you are and what you've done?
Well, I think, nature versus nurture. No one in my family has a health background. No one in my family went to college, but I did grow up in a family of very hard workers. So that work ethic, not being afraid to work hard, that I saw my whole life. My mom and dad over the years owned 10 different businesses. They were, just in the trenches kind of people. My dad worked for the Department of Sanitation, City of New York. My mom was a hairdresser, and in all those years, they opened up delis and pizzerias and restaurants and construction companies. And so the hard work, I started very early on. I've never been afraid to work hard. And I think that's something that's missing. Again, I've got teenagers, so I kind of see what's going on in their generation a little bit. And I do work with millennials quite a bit. I think this message of divine health was just something that is inside me, but we also do things to move away from pain and towards pleasure. And my pain was a very strong family history of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, cancer, stroke, alcoholism, cigarette smoking. And I just very early on, you're going to do one or two things. You're either going to do that and you're going to get into that, which we see happens generationally, alcoholism and obesity and poor lifestyle that gets passed on, or you say there's no way that I'm doing that. And for me, it was the no way, and thankfully for my brother, the no way. But we also really enjoyed the benefits of a healthy lifestyle. We love the endorphin rush of exercise. We love how it feels to wake up every day fully energized with a clear brain to be able to just be open to opportunity and to take on the world.
Wow, I truly am inspired by your perseverance and hard work. I mean, there's so many people that just can't, that just don't have the 31-year story where the best is still happening. Like that's just encouraging. God is definitely blessing that huge.
No, well,
You
thank you. I
know,
have so many fun things going on. I have a TV show coming up. I'm actually flying out to California in 2 weeks that I'm really, really excited about. I can't say a whole lot about it, but it's going to be amazing. And yeah, I was just asked to be part of a new group out of Phoenix that I'm excited about. That's going to be a whole new, like a level above in network marketing. So that's a lot of fun. And yeah, I've been asked to do some coaching. So yes, I mean, only just beginning. It's fun to be able to say no to some things and say yes to some things.
and none of this has been handed to you. You built all of this yourself.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about the TV show, back in December, it's not a busy time for fitness and nutrition. Let's face it, it's typically our slowest month. As much as I don't want to believe that, people are not, they're not thinking about cleansing and fat burning. They're thinking about, parties and, wine and chocolate. So I just said to meet people, I'm going to go to every party I'm invited to in the month of December. So I got invited to a party, and it was very last minute, literally like 2 hours before the party. And I just said, I'm going to go. I'm going. So came home, threw on a dress. Anthony and I went out to the party. It was at a neighbor's house. She's an amazing woman, friend, client of mine. And someone walked in the door, and she was stunning. I mean, every woman in the world in the room was probably intimidated by her, but I said, I'm going to meet her. She is an influencer. I want to know who she is. And it turned out that she is an influencer. She is a prophet in her own right, for sure. She's a best-selling author. She was Miss Texas. So when I say stunning, stunning woman, she works with TD Jakes. She does, all these amazing things. And she called me about a month later and said, you're supposed to be on my TV show. So what if I didn't walk up to her? What if I got intimidated like probably most of the other women in the room were? I mean, they probably saw her and went, wow, she's beautiful. I'm not going to talk to her. I'm like, no, I'm getting to know her. I've got nothing to lose. Why should I shrink in the corner? And she's amazing. So it's, being bold sometimes being led where you feel like you should do it. If you hear that still small voice that tells you to do it, do it. In fact, we're going to a fundraiser tonight. Another friend of mine who's a trainer, was a NFL football player, got injured after 5 years, got out of the league. He started a gym in Dallas, doing phenomenal, and one day he gets an impression to drive through a parking lot. And he's like, I don't want to drive through the parking lot. And he gets this impression, drive through the parking lot. So he's like, I'm going to speed through the parking lot. So he starts going through the parking lot, and at the corner of his eye, he sees this guy, and he realizes, this is why I'm driving to the parking lot. And he goes over to talk to him. You know, he's a big football player. So it's walking to this guy, and this guy's like, whoa, I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. So he just strikes up a conversation, and he's like, hey, buddy, when's the last time you worked out? And the guy's like, if you didn't notice, I have no legs. And so my friend David was like, yeah, so when's the last time you worked out? And the guy was like, it's a little difficult. It's been a while. So David hands him his card and he goes, well, if you want to work out, here's my card. Well, the next day, the guy shows up. And David's like, okay, here we go. And he's like, what's your biggest fear? And the guy goes, falling. He goes, all right, well, let's do this. And he just starts working with this guy. And the guy keeps coming back. And the next thing he brings a friend. And then he brings another friend, and then there's 4 friends, and then 6 friends, and then 20 friends. The next thing you know, David has a room full of Vietnam vets and all these vets from all the different wars with amputees and just all kinds of issues. And now he's got classes going. And so tonight, we're going to the grand opening of the Adaptive Training Foundation, a huge gym that's specifically for these, you know, and sometimes they're cancer survivors, you know, it could be anyone who lost a limb or just, you know, has a special need. And if it wasn't for that impression, that was the whole point, like drive through that parking lot. Maybe he never would have gotten this part of him, this gift of what he was supposed to do for these people. And I encourage you, go to YouTube, check out David Vobora, V-O-B-O-R-A. It's the Adaptive Training Foundation. Great story, but we'll be at the grand opening tonight, and you know what? There will be professional football players there, and it's going to be amazing. And I met David through another friend, and so, you know, it's just saying yes sometimes, being open to meeting people, being open to connecting. And, you know, I always want to level up with the people I connect with, but I always like to be the least of these in the room because I want to be connected to the most amazing people. But there's times where you're supposed to be the one who's leading other people, or maybe you're supposed to learn from whoever, that millennial, that homeless person, that janitor. So, you know, be open to those things as well, because just be aware of what it is you're supposed to be doing. I mean, that's how I like to wake up every day and just say, here I am. What am I supposed to do today? Here's my car keys. Here's my cell phone. Here's my keyboard. Who do you want me to meet? Who do you want me to be with? And that's really how I like to live every day. And that's why I'm so driven to have the authority, to have the income, to have the freedom to do those kind of things, because that's what makes life really cool and fun. And that's what it's about for me.
Well, what does level up mean?
Level up means, you know, if I look at, okay, I'm 49 this year. I'm 48. So
Woo!
5 years ago, when I look at where was I and where did I think I would be in 5 years? Am I there? And in 2023, where will I be? Like, I don't want to be in the same place I am today. I want to be way beyond, and I want to be discipled up in every area of my life. So I want my marriage better. I want my, you know, I want my kids to be in a better place. I want every single thing to be better all the time. So I wanted to level up. You know, I want less debt, more savings, bless more people, you know, give more cars away, whatever it looks like. I want it to be operating on a much higher level than it is today. So leveling up could be the people I'm surrounded by, the giving, you know, even in physically. I don't want to look and feel 5 years older in 2023. I want to look and feel like I'm 27, which is how I feel today.
I do want to encourage you to give the rest of us a chance to keep up. Wow, powerful. Very good stuff. Very impressive. So, a couple questions I like to ask everyone. Do you have a blog or email marketing?
I have not been great about keeping up on my blog. I have been using LinkedIn a little bit more and doing some more writing there. I've been fairly consistent with my Facebook Live, so Facebook is always a good place to follow me. And it's just my name, Kelli with an I. Calabrese is Calabrese. So Facebook is where I'm most active, and definitely LinkedIn. I've been spending more time there, having a great time meeting people on LinkedIn. It's been so fun.
Yeah, your LinkedIn page is fantastic. So the coach that you worked with, he did a good job.
Awesome. He's actually he was a personal trainer, which is how we connected, but he's also in my company.
Yep. Yeah, I was impressed. And you have the most recent article you had on there. What was it called? I was going to write it down, but I forgot. Um,
Uh, I posted something
it
on
was good.
intermittent
It was,
fasting.
no, it was
Um,
relevant to this group.
yeah, I'm trying to think what it was. It was like 2 Sundays ago that I did that. I've been doing some fun Facebook Lives,
28.
and I really like to do them when I'm led to do them. So I did one about being in the trenches in terms of, are you in one ditch or another ditch? Um, yeah, I love doing the
My,
Facebook Live. I
it
did
was
a Facebook Live on change recently. So yeah, I love the Facebook
it was
Lives.
something residual.
About residual income?
Yeah, it was. I don't remember what it was. My computer doesn't recognize me with my hat on, so I couldn't get on my computer. um, well, all right. So, and then what book do you recommend? What book would you recommend?
I just read Tim Ferriss's Tools of Titans. That's a really good
Oh,
book. I'm looking at my collection over here. I just read The Circle Maker. That was really good by Mark
who's that by?
Batterson. Mark Batterson. The 10X Rule, of course, by Grant Cardone is amazing.
So
I'm just
good.
looking at my file over there. What did I just have? Oh, I'm going to my bookshelf. Yeah, that's my knee cracking. Yeah, the 10X Rule. I just read Ripple Marketing. Let's see. Oh, well, if you're married, I just read I'm Married on Purpose. That's really good. Kyle Wilson's new book that went bestseller last week is called The One Thing That Changed Everything. So that's awesome. A Fast Read is a Cure for What Stops You by Michael Kerrigan. And yeah, probably the two latest ones I read are High Performance Habits, and that's by Brendan Bouchard, and then The Blue Zones of Happiness. And that's the same guy, Dan, who wrote all the Blue Zone books. I love the Blue Zone books.
Wow. So you have 8 books or so, around 8 books you've read recently, on top of everything else that we have here. It can be
Yeah,
done. It just can be done. When you get into that flow state where you're happy with where God has placed you, it can get done all the way through.
and look what's on my desk. You'll see this. Recognize that? I'm
I know
keeping
about
up
that.
with a week. I know, that was from Mr. Billy and Kyla Cowell to remind me daily to be in gratitude. So sending out at least a card a week, just thanking people for influencing whatever area of the world that they are influencing at the moment. So it's been
So
fun.
I think we're on week 26. No, no, pardon, 16. And the only reason
Okay.
I actually was going to buy one of those for myself and use it, and it's 16 weeks since I haven't done it. I'd actually bought one, and then I was like, no, I want to give this away. And I bought another one, and I was like, I want to give this away. And I bought it
Oh,
again, and I gave it away, and I never bought the last one.
got it.
Because
Well,
it is
you
a
can
great
use,
idea.
it is a great idea, and I have been using it.
Fantastic. So listen, if people want to get a hold of you, um, what business would you see yourself partnering with most people in the future?
Well, I mean, what I've been doing for the last 7 years, helping personal trainers, and that's a lot of what I'm doing with LinkedIn, is with Isogenics, which is the network marketing company that I'm with. And such an incredible connection there because every single one of your clients needs to eat. And I promise you, they're looking for a solution. They are going and buying, somewhere, GNC, Vitamin Shop, they're buying a protein shake, they're buying an omega, a kid's vitamin, something. So Isogenics is a world-class company with no compromise products, and it's such a natural fit. We have over 250 millionaires, and a grand majority of them are some type of an allied health professional, trainer, coach, chiropractor, massage therapist. So we're just so well positioned to share this, and the company makes it really simple for us to do it. So it's an easy way for me to help personal trainers there because it's such a natural extension of what we do. So if you're looking to build residual income, that's something that we can plug you right into. And it's been awesome. Lots of support.
Fantastic. Are you open if I'm going to take some of the notes, some of the nuggets of this interview and put them in a text form? And if someone is inspired by something that you and I have discussed today, are you open to allowing them to connect with you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Happy to do it.
That's great. That's great. I don't want to end the interview. I just want to stay on here with you. I don't have any more questions or any more content, but I just want to kind of hang out with you because you're all the way there and I'm all the way here and we don't get to connect as much as I would like. But like I said, this group is new. I encourage you, if you know any fitness pros that are looking for alternative sources of income, whether it's that business, this business. You know, I have a friend I'm interviewing next week who is he's an instructor at one of the major cycling companies, um, and he has his own clothing line. You know, like people do that kind of stuff, and he
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Tony Robbins has 400 businesses. 400. If he could
so
have 400, I could have six or seven.
right. And most trainers, most fitness professionals only have one.
Right. Yeah,
Only
I know
have
it breaks my heart. I'm a member of Lifetime Fitness, and I'm impressed by the trainers who are there. They mostly all have 4-year degrees. But I watch the churn and burn. I've been a member there for 13 years, and I watch them. There's no one there with a beard, balding, gray hair, nothing, because no one lasts that long. I mean, they might get to their late 20s, and then they're done, because if they're not training, they're not getting paid. They're there long hours, a lot. They're cleaning. There's a lot expected of them, and they just burn out. And then they become, realtors, and they sell insurance and other things. And I hate that, because their heart is to be a trainer. And sometimes you'll see those guys on the weekend, so they have to be, work at the bank during the day, and then they'll train clients on the
one.
weekends because they do love it and they like a little extra money. But it's not how it has to be, and it's not how it should be.
Listen, the reason I'm wearing the hat is I was going to get a haircut, and I got into a conversation with a trainer at a big box gym, Equinox, that literally went for 30 or 40 extra minutes because I was just pouring into him how just what we're talking about. And I'm sure he'll watch this interview actually because we discussed just this today. He's at work still. But I said, you don't really want to be here on a Saturday, do you? And he's like, no, but he has to. And I mean, I literally talked to him for an extra 30 or 40 minutes. And I was like, I gotta go. I got an interview. I was gonna shave for her, but I didn't yet. So, do you have any final notes, final points?
Um, well, I mean, I think you see behind me where it says love. Can you see that up there? Love.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately for me, it is all about love. And my definition of love, which I learned from my mentor, Kevin Weaver, is contending, relentlessly contending for the highest possible good in every situation until it's a present tense reality. So I know it's a mouthful, but if it's all about love, relentlessly contending for the highest possible good in every situation until it's a present tense reality. So you've got to figure out what's the highest possible good. What would that look like? What would be the most excellent? Start from there and then work backwards until you get there. It's never going to be perfect. Don't beat yourself up if you fall short, but just keep going towards what is excellent. But you have to dive deep a little bit and figure out what that looks like. I would say first, cut out the junk, cut out the garbage, cut out the nonsense. If you're, Netflixing your life away, you just video game, whatever it is, what it is, cut that out first, and you will have time to read a couple of books a month, and you will have time, because you in 2023 is going to happen faster than you know it. Even if you're young, the days are going to pass. So where do you want to be in 2023? And you start with this moment. You take each moment and you do the best thing that you can do with that moment. It doesn't mean never rest, because rest is important, and I certainly rest, but just always be doing what's going to bring you closer to excellence, to love's ideal, and just relentlessly contend for it. Don't give up until you feel like you're in the zone, moving towards it in a massive way, because you're worth it. It's worth it.
So good. So good. So listen, I'll put this up, or actually when I hit finish, it'll just go up on my group page. I encourage you to share it because you
Okay.
definitely shared some very, very good information that I'm sure your audience and your followers would love to see. And I'm very
Awesome.
grateful for your time on
I'm
this
happy
Saturday
to do
afternoon.
it. Grateful for you and Kyla and your beautiful family. Glad we connected.
You'll probably actually meet little Joshua before the end of the year.
I know I
Whether,
will.
but I'm not talking about you coming here. I'm saying us going there.
Okay,
So
good.
that would be a
I
blessing.
would love to have you. Come visit anytime.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good
Have an
day.
awesome day.